Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Basement Boys. My name is Jameson, here with my buddy Lucas, and today is episode 2 of our Welcome to Derry series. And today we are going to be breaking down episode 2, Something in the Dark.
So, today is episode 2, like he said.
Not like I just said that.
But I got a lot of notes. We just watched the episode, so I got a ton of notes to break. We have a lot of things to break down in this episode. As you can tell, I have a couple sheets of paper right here, just because there was so much to absorb in that episode. It was a great episode. What do you think of the episode?
I thought it was great. I mean, the first 2 episodes,
Again, we're so late to this, but...
I've watched the show in its entirety. He has too, but we're just, rewatching it for these episodes to kind of,
we just watched
fresh
the
off
first
of
time.
it.
Time we watched it, we weren't like too into. We didn't know what it really was.
I was invested into it, but we had no idea that we'd be doing, recording for it in like a series. So, but we just, we wrote down notes.
Intrigued.
Yes, we wrote down.
Very intrigued for this.
Yes.
So let me start by asking you. Not gonna give me a drum roll. Okay, I'm gonna start with the episode kicking off with the movie theater. Well, what did you think about the movie theater scene?
So yes, episode 2 kind of starts with replaying from what we saw at the end of episode 1 with the mutant baby coming out of the screen and killing who we thought was the main cast of kids with Phil and
We were wrong.
Huh?
We were wrong about that.
We were with Phil and what's the other kid's name?
Teddy.
Teddy, yes. That's Stanley's uncle.
If those of you didn't know, we talked about that last episode.
But yes, and then Phil's sister, who also died. Yeah, so all 3 of them died within that first episode.
Tragic.
So yeah, we see it from Lily's point of view and how it happened, and how she just kind of like was just staring there, and she actually really wasn't being attacked until like the end, and the giant mutated baby did not go after her though. She got spared, and I think the reason why is so she has the charm that Maddie gave her with the turtle, and we know that in it, if you've read the book or just know, the turtle is plays a very key part into the series, and this is known as Matern, the cosmic turtle. Pennywise's the pretty much Pennywise's counterpart. He is everything good, well, it is everything evil. So
sure.
a lot of theories is Matern was protecting Lily there, and the turtle charm was the reason why she kind of got spared, and she got spared, and what's the girl's that oh my god, dude, we have it written down too.
Oh, Ronnie?
Yeah, Ronnie. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, Lily and Ronnie both survived that event, and
Ronnie was doing. I think she was running the.
She was running the film to see if they could.
She was running the movie.
And that's where everything took place with Maddie showing, and then the mutant baby coming through the screen.
That was insane. I really enjoyed it. I liked how it was another situation where you thought these people were going to survive, and they did not.
Yeah, survive. We thought it was they were going to be the main cast of kids, the Losers Club for that.
But no, it ended up being some different characters.
So then after that, we actually get the real intro of the show. It was not shown in the first episode, in the pilot episode. But yes, Welcome to Derry, and if you've seen the show, you know the intro. Well, there was lots of hints and Easter eggs for potential seasons down the road, and just Easter eggs in general throughout the whole, Welcome to Derry and just Derry universe. So I'll give it to Lucas.
We kicked off the intro with a couple Easter eggs. Easter eggs, because we actually see an Easter bunny.
Yeah, the Ironworks.
We see an Easter bunny in there at some point. I'll throw a picture up for you guys. We got an Easter bunny, ironworks. Kids were holding the Easter baskets. They were obviously going Easter hunting.
So this
egg
is
hunting.
the 1908
Yep.
ironworks disaster that, and actually is shown within the first in it chapter 1 where. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the losers' names.
Richie.
Richie,
There's Richie, Stanley,
Billy,
Eddie.
Ben.
Ben.
Well, yeah. So
I named them all, but except for the one he needed.
So yes. So in it chapter 1, we see Ben, going through the history of Derry, and Pennywise is kind of showing him all the tragic events from it, and the ironworks was one of the ones that he mentioned, and each time he flipped the book, it went closer and closer and closer to the tree where we see just a kid's lifeless body, or just his head on the tree branch. But this was after the ironworks disaster during the Easter egg hunt, and for many of you that know, before Pennywise's cycle ends, he has this one last big feast. His last
big hooray.
Yes, his last eating before he goes back into the hibernation cycle and then comes back 27 years later. So yeah, that is referenced in the intro, and then you have the Bradley gang from 1935, which is referenced also in the intro, and it shows, if you look into the far back, it actually shows Pennywise through the window, with the Tommy gun actually shooting, and that he was involved with some of the killings and shootings for the Bradley gang, and that is actually going to be talked about in the season 2 for Welcome to Derry.
Yep.
Because that is going to be the main central theme of season 2 is the Bradley gang shooting, and
which I'm looking forward to.
And then season 3 will be the ironworks disaster.
27 years before the first It movie.
Yeah.
So they showed a balloon in there. They showed the Bradley gang. We got the intro, everything in the intro. That was sick. I love the intro. Every part of it was great.
And in the intro, there's lots of references to it, like in the old house.
Mm-hmm.
It shows the eye. It was a family photo, and in the distance you see, its eyes and the kid looking back at it.
Yes.
You also see.
Yep.
And then you see it within the sewer drains, and with his eyes and tentacles, and luring a boy with a lollipop in the summer scene when they were at the lake, and it's the same lake that the Losers Club jumped into in it chapter 1.
I just want to say something. We are very sorry. We totally got the names wrong. For Dick and Leroy.
Yes, because we kept calling Leroy and Dick by the same last name.
Yes, so they are not related.
It's Leroy Hanlon and Dick Halloran. And
Yeah.
Dick Halloran is from The Shining. Yes, they are not related at all.
We were tired.
It
was late.
Yes, they're both of color, but completely different people.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So sorry about that, guys. I did not mean to
Did a
confuse
complete
anybody.
dishonor to the character.
Not mean to confuse anybody there. But now mentioning on the Leroy, we're gonna go on how we meet Will and Charlotte.
Yes.
And about probably after the opening scene.
Just before the opening scene, we are taken back to Hank and Ronnie's house, where we got police right outside the house, and
where we left them.
Yes, and they are looking for a reason to arrest Hank, because he and Ronnie, worked at the theater, and
yes. Oh yeah.
And because of the color and the the white supremacy and just all the racist remarks towards people of color, they think that they want to frame Hank.
They want to frame Hank for it.
For the murder of the
it was a lot
Phil.
different. It was a lot different back then. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of same.
Phil, Teddy, so they want to frame him for those murders.
And they need a reason to. They were like pressing him about it. And
exactly. So, but without a reason or a witness, they can't.
They just don't trust him because of
they
the color
can't
of his
arrest him yet because there is no probable cause for his arrest at that point. But it is later on in the episode
we meet Charlotte.
Yes. We meet Charlotte and Will.
Will.
And
Will, who is Mike's father.
Yes.
Those of you that did not know.
Is Mike Hamlin's father, the one who eventually burns alive. Unfortunately, him and his wife burn alive.
Spoiler alert.
For It Chapter 1.
Not really a spoiler. I mean, people that are watching this probably already seen.
And yes, and there's a reference.
Hopefully.
There is a reference to him burning alive later in the series, but we'll get to that. We'll touch on that.
So
when that episode.
I have a question for you.
All right, let me hear this question.
I want to be in the frame. Hold on. So me personally, I'm glad that Pennywise did not just show up right out of the blue, because then it's like, oh, it's just Pennywise. That's it's just Pennywise. That's the fear.
So this is something that the show did that the movie didn't. Where in the movie Pennywise or It, I'm gonna call him It because Pennywise is Bob Gray, and that's the form that he takes because the kids are drawn to the clowns, which what we saw from Georgie, and how Pennywise is trustworthy a little bit, and he believed in what he was saying. Obviously now with It and all that stuff, clowns are creepy as hell.
Creep me out.
But yeah, Pennywise, I keep calling him, It is known to be a shapeshifter, right? So
yeah, that way it shows you that's
it's a little different because in
the
It movies,
not just a clown.
Exactly. I mean, that's his most or actually her, because It does have a gender and it's actually female, believe it or not. But its form that it takes the form of the clown the most, but within the movies we don't really see it doing a whole lot of shape shifting. Yes,
all we really see is the clown.
But in the hints at like the Mummy, the painting that Stanley's afraid of, Mrs. Kirsch, who is later referenced and actually a big part of the show, but we'll hit on that in episode. Actually, episode 3 is when it's a little bit referenced, but later down the road, in like the last 2 episodes, is when it's really referenced. But in episode 3, we learn more about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll touch on that.
But no,
for episode 3.
I personally think if they just introduced Pennywise right away like they did in the movies, I don't.
It would have been like, okay,
working.
it's the same.
I like
thing.
how they waited to show him.
It was
worth the
It was a slow burn, so they didn't. I mean, he's in every episode, but is not using his.
It's not the. People are like, oh, Pennywise is not in every episode. Like
he doesn't need to be.
No.
I mean, yes, it is in every episode, but it takes many different forms. It's not just one form. Obviously, like I said, the clown's the most infamous, but lots of people forget that it's a shapeshifter, and it turns into your worst fear, and it uses
that's how it works. If it doesn't have your fear, he won't work.
Well, it's not that it won't, but
it will, but it's not going to have that power.
Exactly, and it has that effect, and the more the kids are scared, the more scared the kids are, the better the taste for it. So that's why he kind of he toys with them early on so they can get more and more scared, so then
yes, absolutely,
they're perfect for him to eat.
Another point I want to drag on is, did you realize that they are basically talking about food in almost every episode?
They are. That is one point that throughout the whole episode they are constantly referencing food, and this is a reference to Lily's dad, who ended up getting grinded up in a pickle factory, and she blames herself for her dad's murder because she had him go back to get something, and somehow he fell into like the grinder and he grinded all his bones and guts into the pickles for the town. So it was very grotesque, and they hit on this. Actually, towards the end of the episode, we see something that is referenced, and it uses that as one of Lily's fear because she blames herself for that. But we'll touch on that towards the end of this episode. But yes, food is a constant reference throughout this episode.
Yeah, it was big. Remember in the school they were, if you look on the chalkboard, they're referencing food.
Yep.
They were referencing a bunch of food throughout the entire series. Which was actually very interesting, I thought, because the whole pickle situation, and then, all that situation. So it all came together, and Stephen King's very good with throwing little Easter eggs at us, and not everyone notices it.
Yes,
So.
and another one of the Easter eggs actually, in the Paul Bunyan when later this is when they're building the Paul Bunyan statue, and from it chapter 2, Pennywise or it uses that as a fear for Richie and has the Paul Bunyan statue chasing him. And this though, they're like I said,
They're building it.
They're building it, and there's a reference to a Stephen King project.
1408.
1408.
The 14 Tales.
Yes.
So,
and this,
which I have not read, but I know of it.
Yes.
So
and it has it right in the bottom corner. Kind of blink if you miss it, and if you go back, if you're a Stephen King fan, you'll get it. But yes, it referencing the 1408, the 4 short stories, which is like you said, a Stephen King.
I love how Stephen King brings like all his books, all his novels, all his movies together. I think that's really cool.
It's all one connected universe. Stephen King was really the first one to have a multiverse.
Marvel.
Before, obviously, everybody knows Marvel, and the Stephen King universe always been connected, but it hasn't always been out there. It's been hinted.
I don't know much about Stephen King. I don't know as much as he does about the whole Stephen King universe. I've only really watched Cujo. Let's see, Pet Sematary, a little bit of The Shining, not the entire thing. I know parts of it, which we're gonna do a reaction. Sorry, we're gonna do a reaction video on. But yeah, I don't know as much as he does, so he's gonna have to answer all those questions.
You got Carrie.
I've watched Carrie. Yeah, things here and there I watch.
And she also has the shine, just like Danny and Dick Halloran in this show.
Yes.
And I think the introduction of his character was amazing. I think he was probably him or Rich, in my opinion, were 2 of my favorite characters.
Oh, Rich was my favorite.
Rich, man.
R.I.P.
But so
That'll
also
we'll
in this, so speaking of Rich, we actually.
Yeah, we meet him this episode.
We meet him in this episode.
In the hallway with Will. He's eating his empanada. And we see him having like that little stare on Marge.
Yes, because that is who he's crushing on. And so it has like the slow-mo with Marge walking past him and him kind of like...
Mm-hmm. He was not looking at Patty. He was
oogling at Marge. But yes, this is when we first meet Richie. We know that he's a drummer in the marching band for the school, and then all of a sudden there's like this one, kid throws like this stink bomb, and obviously, Will runs through it and runs into the teacher, and
who already does not like him.
Yes, and gives him detention. And in the classroom,
Will meets
Ronnie. Yes, so kind of having all the losers come together, but not forming their group just yet. Episode 3 is when they do form that, but they are meeting in different scenes in the episode. And on the chalkboard for detention, there is another Stephen King reference to one of his books, and this is called it mentions Charlotte.
Yes.
No, not Charlotte. Whatever, I forget.
The Stand.
No, we have it on here.
Somewhere in our notes.
Yes, I'm trying to.
Episode,
we're, either way, on the chalkboard, it references from a book.
There's a bunch of things that point out.
It references the haunted car from the Stephen King book, and apparently also in the episode, there's a car that drives by that looks eerily similar to that car. It's like possessed and whatnot. So that's another Stephen King book. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, lots of references from Stephen King's books.
Pennywise has definitely felt more than he's seen. So he's not. If you don't see him, this is just me yapping about Pennywise. But even if you don't see him, you're gonna feel him. Like it's just
his presence.
Yeah, his presence.
So later throughout the episode, we actually go back to the military base.
Yes.
And we see that Shaw and everybody there.
We meet Francis Shaw.
Francis Shaw, who's also another big part of the series later on. But yes, we go to the military base where they're digging up, looking for the totems, which is keeping it trapped within Derry. They're looking for those totems because once the totems are lifted, Pennywise It is finally allowed to leave Derry and take over the world.
Yes.
But he's trapped because of those totems, meaning that's why he can't leave.
Mhm.
So that is what they're looking for. They want, and there's the whole Cuban Missile Crisis, and they're in the Cold War and potential World War III. This is just before the JFK assassination, but they are Major Shaw, or General Shaw, is looking to weaponize.
His whole plan was
it.
so stupid.
Yes.
His whole plan, could not stand.
They
his
want
plan.
to use her as a weapon for the missile crisis.
So stupid.
And this is a cosmic entity, the eater of worlds, who has taken over many worlds and is destroyed them. And you're going to try to use this.
Did you agree with his plan?
No. You're going to try to use something that is uncontrollable.
We actually
as
see a young
weapon.
Francis in the next episode, which we'll
touch
about.
on for episode 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, weaponizing something that's a cosmic entity, you can't control it. It is untamable and uncontrollable. It's which we see throughout the whole show. It just can't happen. So yeah, that's another big part in within the episode. Got anything else you want to touch on? I mean, there's a lot of big things that happen still in the episode.
For that part?
I mean, yeah, if you'd like to.
I would not for that part, but I would like to touch on Ronnie's nightmare.
Oh yes. So later throughout the episode, this is actually before the detention scene, but we go through Ronnie's nightmare with it once again, toying with his victims, and Ronnie is like, well, she was originally under her covers, and then all of a sudden is in like this placenta sack of her mother's, and actually her mother died giving birth to her, and that's something that her and Lily have in common. Them feeling like they're the reason for their parents dying.
Mm-hmm.
So she breaks out of this placenta sack, and we see it taking the shape of her mother, saying some of these most traumatic things to her, and you have the open womb that she came out of, where we finally see its notorious glowing eyes staring right at her, and then she breaks out of the trance. But traumatized, and if you haven't seen it, it's a very disturbing scene.
Very disturbing. Especially you're a child.
And this is the second episode too, where we have another reference to childbirth, because in the pilot episode we saw the mother giving
right in the
birth
opening scene
to the mutated
that was
baby,
disturbing.
and then yet again have Ronnie's mother delivering her and dying, but it made it more into this traumatic scene for Ronnie.
Yeah, especially seeing that when you're just a child. I mean, that's tough.
Yes. So then later throughout the episode, we have Dick Halloran and some of his buddies from...
meet at a gay bar.
Yes, which is called the Falcon. Or Falconer? Falcon, I think, is the name of the bar. And that's where we see...
Bowers.
Cliff, Chief Cliff Bowers, who is the grandfather of Henry Bowers and the father of Henry's dad.
And we see Bowers just chilling at the bar, and people just go up to him and is like,
some of his friends,
you gotta arrest Hank. And but he'd have a reason. He's like,
there's been no probable cause of Hank's arrest, but this is where now Chief Bowers is now getting into the picture and trying to...
Who is Henry Bowers' grandfather?
Yes.
Okay.
And now is going to look for a reason or some type of witness to confess to Hank murdering. And this leads to actually Lily, where he found out that she was at the theater, and
she really gets no choice but to just straight up say, it was Hank.
Yes, because at the end he threatened to take her. She's being
manipulated, and you're a child. Like, what do you do in that situation?
Right.
It's like, you can't be put in that situation and just expect to just get out of it. At that point, you're just gonna say whatever is on top of your mind and try to get out of that situation. But she got put there. She got manipulated, and yeah, she just said it was Hank. So
Yeah, she had,
that all
like you
that
said, no
sucked.
choice, and Chief Bowers threatened to
The whole
have her go
family's a
back into
nutcase.
the Juniper Hill institution, which is an asylum
We
that
love the
she's been
Bowers
to
family.
because of her mental health issues, and threatened to have her go back to the asylum if she did not come clean about Hank murdering the kids. And
Yeah.
obviously he didn't, but fearing of going back to that place, she had, like you said, had no choice, and ratted out Hank, and that gave the police department enough of a reason to wrongly
Put him behind
convict him
bars.
of the murder. Yes,
Yeah.
and he was going to get sent to
Shake Shaw.
Shawshank,
Okay.
which yet again is another Stephen King book, and movie, Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
So, like we said, it's just this whole connected universe. So, tons of references to his other books, slash movies and stories. It's incredible, and actually, another reference is the Rose Garden, or not the Rose Garden, the what's it called? We have a
Secondhand Rose.
Secondhand Rose, which in It Chapter 2, we see Billy going to get his bike.
And then, same one he got in it, chapter 2.
Yes, and actually in the store, in that is a little Stephen King Easter egg.
Yeah.
But Billy recovered the bike thinking, it was a memento that needed to be used for the ritual. Actually,
And he actually gets that, and that's the one he chases that poor kid down.
Yes.
In chapter 2, that poor kid.
But it ended up being the boat that he used for the ritual, not the bike. But the secondhand rose, though, there's a rose that's referencing to the Dark Towers, which that is probably one of the bigger Easter eggs, because the Dark Tower is bridges to multiple universes, and the Dark Tower connects all the universes in the Stephen King universe, and kind of entangles it into one connected universe.
Yes.
And the Dark Tower movie is not good, but the books.
I haven't watched it.
Books are good. Books are good.
You're the Stephen King guy.
Yes. So I would definitely check those out.
We got introduced to the natives this episode.
Yes, that right after we're digging through the, they were looking for the totem. We see the natives, introduced to the natives, the native tribe, and now they know that that's what the military is looking for, and they're going to bring this back to their tribe. But we will learn more about them in the next episode. But they are a very important part to.
I like them.
Yes.
I thought that was very cool.
So in episode 3, we'll learn more about their backstory, and more on its backstory and how it got trapped within Derry.
Another thing I want to touch on, they showed another Easter egg. They showed Christine on the chalkboard in the room, and that's actually another Stephen King book.
Yeah, it was the car, Christine.
No, that's what you were touching on earlier.
Yeah, Christine. That was my fault. I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah,
but yes.
Christine's the one he was thinking about.
I was referencing Christine.
But yeah, I thought that was very cool. Stephen King's always just putting things out.
He's a genius. I mean,
he is. He really is.
So, but yes, another reference to one of his other stories. And so, let's see what happens here.
We know one of the kids got taken 12 days after Maddie. And you just see the cops just being like, they don't really realize kids are missing.
And that's what Pennywise does. I mean, they just kind of glance over it.
Oh, kid's missing. Okay, nothing new.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what, it does. Kids go missing all the time in Derry. And the adults, nothing really happens too much to the adults unless you're looking for it. We never really saw the adults get involved in the first It movie. Obviously, the original losers when they come back are adults, but that makes sense. But really, the adults don't really notice it, or the entity.
Yeah, the whole missile crisis too.
But yeah, so and also another
secret
thing.
Weapon.
Right.
That was great. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm probably interrupting you quite a lot, But another thing that it does is once you leave Derry, you forget everything that happened, which is what we saw with the losers. They made this blood oath, the blood pact, that after, in 27 years, if he came back, that they would have to finish him off. And they all left, had a life outside of Derry. Mike was the only one who stayed behind, which is why he never forgot. But the losers, when they came back, they didn't fully remember. That's the effect that it has. It makes you forget everything that happened within Derry.
Yeah.
So that's, why they all forgot. And that's another effect he has. And then one of the last scenes throughout the episode is when Lily goes to the grocery store.
Wait,
and
for that part, I want another reference from The Shining, the baking powder.
Yes, we have it written down here.
Yeah, of course. One of the biggest parts of that episode.
The Coleman baking powder, which is referenced which is a Shining reference. It's actually multiple scenes.
Yeah.
Or multiple cuts in this scene. But yes, it's another Shining reference yet again. And
I didn't realize it the first time I watched it.
Yes, but in the pantry kitchen, in The Shining, you can see that, and
that's why I'm really excited to watch it.
Yes, we're gonna do a reaction.
First time for me.
To it.
Like what? 8th time for you?
Yeah, around there.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, big Stephen King fan.
First time watch. So it's just gonna be like a first time watch reaction for me. He's just gonna.
I'll
react to my reaction.
Yes, pretty much, and break down some of the things that you don't get.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for that.
So
it's gonna come up in a couple days.
We'll be recording that. But yeah, so once again, no other references. So that
Lily going into the store, and as she's going to bring her cart, as she's pulling her cart, you see this lady just do
what?
A little face Pennywise does.
Yeah, and it was the
didn't notice it the first time I watched it again, realized it.
Yep, and then you have really cool. Other people, and he at this point is manipulating that part, the whole entire store.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, it's all within her head, but that's what he does. He gets into your head and messes with you. But it has, customers, lurking over the corners, which is kind of symbolic and like a reference to what happened in Chapter 2 with Mrs. Kirsch and Beverly, how she lurked through the corner and watching Beverly look at the photos and kind of went back. That's what they did with the customers over the shelves and stuff. And multiple of them kind of just following her, looking behind her shoulder, and she was unaware. And then you have Pennywise kind of whispering that, it's her fault, or
go back. Yeah, she's got to go back.
And lots of just whispering until.
Crazy. And then she goes in the pickle aisle.
Actually, real quick before the pickle aisle, she's kind of going in like this maze where she's just constantly lost, which is another reference to The Shining. I don't know. I would think it's intentional, but for everybody who knows the Shining, that's where the last kind of stand is. Could you breathe any louder?
Sorry, sir.
No, I'm joking. Pipe down, though. No.
Go get all off topic here.
But yes, the maze is, a big part within The Shining with Jack Torrance and Danny, and the mother, and I think that was a reference to them getting lost.
She hits a dead end at that point.
Yep, and then this is where it all comes to like the closing part of the scene where she's trapped within these barriers, nothing but pickles, and then we see it take the form of her dad all grinded up with just organs, his face like severed foot, and breaks out of these pickle jars and threatens to like eat her or whatever, obviously just making her scared.
Yeah.
And she's got the charm, so she's kind of protected by it. And then after she breaks out of it, and it looks to be crazy as now she's out of the trance and she's just at the grocery store, and the customers and the owner are looking at her like she's insane.
Then episode ends with her going back
to Juniper Hill. So in the end, even though she ratted out,
it didn't work. They both ended up.
Ronnie's father, it ended up not
The crazy house, some people say.
Yep, it ended up not even being worth it because she ended up going back to Juniper Hill.
Yeah. So.
And then actually, right at the end, the last part of the scene, we see the military pull up an old, broken down car with skeletons and Tommy guns, and this is from the Bradley gang shooting. So, with this, they know that they're getting close to the totems.
Yes. That was very cool. Like, this episode really, every episode in this series really just breaks down so much that you did not realize when you watched the first two movies.
There's a lot more world building into the Stephen King universe, and I think I really can't think of an episode that was really like not good. I feel like every episode was strong in a way.
It was all important.
Yes, very important to later It projects and projects from the past, you know, with the It movies. So I'm really excited to see what the future for the series holds. And the next episode is episode 3, The Town That Forgets, which is another really good episode. I have some notes right here on my screen. But yeah, the theme of that is they're going to use memory as a weapon. And this episode is where they have...
definitely rewatch that one.
Or they're going to have flashbacks of learning about its appearance, how it arrived. I mean, we know it arrived from a meteor, but we're going to learn about his other forms and the ways that he terrorized children's. So this is more of a flashback to the native tribes and General Francis Shaw and how he came to be. And
his master plan.
Yes.
Jesus.
So he was originally, a victim.
I forgot to mention something in the grocery store.
Okay.
The cereal boxes. They showed all the Teddy, Phil, Susie, and one was just a clown.
Yes.
I thought that was really cool.
The clown is always at the bottom of it all. So it showed them all decaying. Phil was actually the only one that didn't decay. Maybe hinting that he's still alive, but he is definitely dead.
I don't know. He got ripped in half.
Yes. So, but yes, kind of showing how the clown is always behind the scenes. It's always at the bottom, but he's like the root of it all. The vein.
Which honestly, kind of points at what's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean he's the center of it all. It all leads back to it. It is the center of the problem. Is the nucleus of everything wrong that happens in Derry.
Yes.
So
correct.
It just the those subtle Easter eggs to previous Stephen King projects, and then it always being in the shadows, always lurking and watching. I mean, you see in the first movie that you see its eyes. When Georgie goes down to the basement, you see its eyes looking at him. You see him actually. It's very subtle. Like for 2 frames, see the eyes watching him in the back before he even went down to the basement, where it's clear that we see his eyes. But he always watches his victims. Yeah. He's always there lurking. So, yeah.
Awesome.
It's just awesome the way that the character is constantly implemented into the show.
Yeah.
But I think that touches on almost everything
for that episode. Yeah.
Do you want anything else that you want to add?
No, I think we basically touched on everything. Lily's going to the store, Nightmare by Ronnie, Hank getting arrested, Lily going back to Juniper Hill. I think we got it all.
The past.
Next episode, we meet Francis as a kid. And his fears.
And we dive deeper into the history, the
so
rich
if you want to talk
lore
about
history.
if you want to tell them what we're going to talk about in the next episode.
Well, yes, we're going to learn, like I said previously, more about the backstory, the native tribes and the totems, which is from the meteor that it came in. It is actually used as a weakness from it, and the reason why it can't leave Derry. But I don't want to break.
Yeah, we don't want to talk too much about it
because that's going to
be like a little sneak peek breakdown of what's going on next episode. Well, the next episode of Derry. The next episode we're releasing is probably going to be The Shining, or I don't know. So we'll come up with something.
Yes. But
yeah, Derry's gonna be a long series. So.
we're gonna go episode by episode.
Yeah, might do a couple things before we do Derry, like
But
here and
we're-
there, but we're mostly
right.
gonna focus on Derry.
That
Just
is
gotta
the
get
current
one series at a
project
time,
for
yeah.
us right now.
Yeah, but that's it. That's all I have for today.
So, all right, so this is the Basement Boys.
Yep.
My name is Jameson, here with my buddy Lucas, and we'll be signing off. Next, I don't know where our next video is going to be. It could be the Shining breakdown. But
Trying to post every week.
Yeah, at
once
least
every week.
once or twice a week. But for the Welcome to Derry series, next episode will be episode 3
Episode 3.
of which is the Town That Forgets. So we'll be looking forward to doing that. So
So,
we'll be
signing off.
signing off.
Deuces.
Deuces.